Welcome back to a new video for the last two-parter for this first half of the cloud series. Well, at least a general cloud series before we get more specific. But nonetheless, we thank you if you watched the last video for managing a cloud solution part two. In this video, we're going to actually get into part one for troubleshooting a cloud solution. So there's a few things we're going to actually cover, right? And then overall arching things are going to be pretty straightforward, pretty quick for part one and part two. The first one for this one is going to be diagnosing and troubleshooting OpenStack services, right? So we're going to get into diagnosing the Nova service, Neutron, Cinder, Glance, and Keystone service issues, at least the most typical ones, right? Given a scenario like troubleshooting connectivity issues, common issues, and the deployments and things of that nature, right? So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so now let's talk about diagnosing and troubleshooting, right? So Ansible, we'll start there, is a tool set developed based on OpenStack software tools and it's targeted at being scalable and being user-friendly and while deploying in production environments. Now, the Ansible script is organized into units called playbooks, and each playbook supports a specific server configuration or a specific role. Now, OpenStack Services uses the standard logging levels, and we can get into a brief intro to about when to use each log level or troubleshoot the operational issues in an OpenStack deployment. You can debug, you can do some info, warning, error, critical, as far as those particular log levels, right? And let's actually go right into actually doing something. So we're going to first diagnose OpenStack Nova service issues. And the Nova service provides access to computer resources in the OpenStack environment. It's important to review the log files to ensure that the service is functioning correctly, right? Or if there is any errors in the infrastructure, the log files can be analyzed to find because of these, right? So let's actually take a look at deploy. All right, we're going to log in as usual. Now, I was initially going to go through every single one as far as Nova, Neutron, Cinder, Glance. But once you've seen at least two, maybe three of them, you've pretty much seen all of them as far as the process to do this. So I'm not going to take the entire gambit because again, it'll get even more redundant, right? Because a lot of the series, at least the more you get into it, gets a little bit more redundant. I like that, but only to a certain extent. I only like it in a sense of really embedding the information into your brain. But then after a while, it's like, okay, we need to build off of this. But nonetheless, I just determined the name of the Nova container, and now I'm going to access that Nova container that I just got the name for. So let's do this. Okay, perfect. So now I'm in the Nova container. Now I'm going to take a look at the source. Okay. And now, actually, I need to maximize this. I should have done this a while ago. So now I'm just going to clear this out. Now that I see that, right? So now in the Nova container, gonna open a log file of some metadata. So let's start here. Okay, perfect. Now the logs should be seen. I can't see because of that. Looks like no such file or directory. Huh. We'll see about that. Perfect. There we go. Fix that. Now we can see the logs of the Nova API metadata, right? And we can actually going to quit it now. All right. So now I'm just going to open a log file for the Nova conductor. I'm actually going to do it correctly this time. Why does it keep doing this? I'm not sure if it's me. There we go. All right, so now we see the logs of the Nova conductor. Now, let's see, exit out of here. Let's take a look at the log file, the metadata. Perfect. So now the logs for the Nova metadata can be seen. So I just wanted to showcase that. Now we can quit. And now we can actually view the log file for the Spice HTML5 proxy. So let's do that here. Perfect. Love it. So now we can see the logs for the Nova Spice HTML5 proxy, which is good. That's what we wanted. All right. So let's take a look at the Nova API OS compute. Okay. Yeah, so I messed up towards there. Okay. There we go. All right, perfect. So we can see the API compute. So I'm going to exit out of here. Now to view the rest of the log files, we can again repeat these steps over and over again for different services for like console authorization or authentication, placement API, and we can do manage, we can do scheduler. I'm actually going to exit out of here. Right, and we can also, I'm going to get into diagnosing the OpenStack Neutron service issues as well. And this is going to be the last one that I don't want to, again, overdo it because I can do it for the OpenStack Cinder. I could do it for a few others, but I'm going to do just one um, beyond the Nova. Just going to do one more, and then as far as diagnosing these, and then I'll move forward. So with the video. So let's go ahead and get started with the second one, which is going to be, again, we're going to go over diagnosing the OpenStack Neutron service issues. So let's start with this command here. It's going to let me type. Perfect. All right, so now the name of the container can be seen. Let's see here. All right, well, we got a couple different containers. So, so I'm actually going to try to access the Neutron container. So let's do. Okay, there we go. So now I've accessed it. Let's take a look at the source. Well, we're not technically looking at it, but all right, there we go. And I'm going to open the log file for the Neutron server. This is going to be the last one I do, at least for this video. Okay, perfect. So we can see all of them right? So I'm gonna quit so we can exit, and then I'm actually gonna get out of here, right? So again, do the same steps for if you want to diagnose OpenStack Cinder service issues, or if you want to diagnose OpenStack glance service as well. Again, it's pretty much the same guidelines, just doing a different service. Keystone as well. But yeah, so this is the end of part one for troubleshooting a cloud solution, right? Just for a brief recap, we did some diagnosing for OpenStack Nova service issues and Neutron service issues, just to at least give a template of any service issues, Cinder, Glance, Keystone, also that you can pretty much follow the same commands. You can take a look there. So this was part one for troubleshooting a cloud solution. I'll see you in part two. Until then, stay curious, stay secure.